Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of That Cruise Show. Today we're talking about something that we all love here so much, and that is spending a beach day on a cruise at one of the cruise line's private islands or beach clubs, or I guess you would say some are just ports, but they have a lot of big things for you to do where you don't need to leave anywhere as well. So with us today, we have Lindsey Wagner from Virgin Voyages, who's going to talk
Hi.
about Bimini Beach Club,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
then
Yes.
we're excited about that. And then, of course, we have James from Cruise West Coast and Ashley, who currently backdrop is where again?
Sorry, was muted. Harvest Key in Belize.
So we'll have a lot of fun discussing all of this today. I'm going to turn it over to Ashley to start.
You didn't mention my backdrop.
I know, right? He's like in the marquee spot.
Sorry.
Because I have unicorn pool floaties.
Yes. He's got the flotillas, as we call them.
Yeah.
I think the goal of this today, besides talking about Bimini, should be to see how many times we could work the term unicorn pool floaties into the conversation.
And just for that being a challenge, my brain is already working on what kind of cocktail we could create called the unicorn pool floaty.
Yes.
So
it needs marshmallow, some sort of marshmallow.
If any of the, I'm assuming they're awesome because honestly, all cruise mixologists, bartenders are awesome at creating wacky stuff sometimes if you are nice and ask them politely. So if there's any Virgin Voyages mixologists in the audience that have an idea of what a unicorn pool floaty cocktail could be,
Yes.
please let me know. Because right now I'm imagining a vodka cocktail with like one of those gummy worm, like a rainbow gummy worm floating on top. But beyond that, I don't know. And I think it's
I'm
one of
thinking
those cocktails
something like
that looks cool
fruity,
but tastes terrible.
sugary, all the tropical things you could put into it. All the colors of the rainbow, I think, belong in a unicorn pool floaty cocktail.
With maybe a reusable straw.
Yes. With a nice metal reusable straw. Yeah. I feel like I should run to my kitchen really quick and actually grab the actual metal straw that you can purchase on board Virgin Voyages, since we have a big push towards sustainability. So no single-use plastics on board, and they have this beautiful rainbow straw you can buy.
And please, God, no, do not have those terrible sugar straws that Carnival has. I applaud the effort, but my God, Carnival, that is the worst tasting, worst functionality disposable straw product you could possibly have invented. But I applaud the fact that it's not a plastic straw.
We have a huge push towards sustainability on board our ship. Not only on our ship, but then specifically there at the beach club at Bimini as well, which I'll kind of talk about coming up. I definitely jumped ahead, but my gears were turning about a fruity tropical drink there with a unicorn flotilla.
Okay.
Yes.
It jumps ahead all the time.
Well, the difference is I'm going to have to pay for the fact that I hijacked Heather's show. And the rest of you guys are going to sit there, and I'm not sure where you are. You in LA, Southern California somewhere?
I am in beautiful Long Beach, California for Virgin. So I'm based in SoCal and cover basically the entire West Coast. So Alaska, Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, and Hawaii as well. So these days I'm living within these four walls that you see me kind of sitting in right now because I'm not going anywhere fast. But kind of a little while ago, before kind of the world turned upside down, I feel like I was living in planes, trains, and automobiles all up and down the West Coast. So which is where I saw Heather last December down in San Diego.
Well, I've dug my hole deep enough to from hijacking her show. So let's go back to the regularly scheduled programming.
It's all good. I said this is always very loosely based. But we're going to start with Ashley if she's got any news. I have news. Hopefully it's not the same news Ashley has, but go ahead.
I don't know. I have a few things here, so I'm just gonna go down the list because there's a lot, and I don't want to miss anything. But before I start, I have to say I have one of those Virgin Voyages straws, and I use it every single day for my smoothie. Yes, I do.
Do you really? Wait, where did you get it?
Make ship happen on
no,
it. No,
it's make sip happen.
Oh yes, okay, something like that.
As you'll find, we're big on our puns. We love our puns here at Virgin, so we can't miss that opportunity.
Oh gosh, 2 years ago, I think it was, I was living in the UK briefly to help out our UK office for Cruise Critic, and I covered an event. Oh God, it was one of the milestones, like the steel cutting, it was like the unveiling of Scarlet Lady. The one where Richard Branson was dancing on the table during lunch.
Yes.
That was it. That was a really
did you go to, was that in Genoa? Did you go down there for that?
It was the shipyard, yep.
Yeah, okay, because that was, I think, in like July 2018, because I remember we also talked about our wellness activities that we're doing on board, and that was a big, huge thing, and I actually referenced that specific moment where he got on top of a table and danced, because when people are like, oh, well, what's life going to be like on board? Like, what's Richard like? And I'm like, well, if you can imagine Richard Branson after a few, maybe glasses of champagne, really feeling himself, and he just has to get on top of the table and dance, like that image from that event. So I'm happy that you have context to that.
Yes, he was the very, very nice guy. They gave us like a group interview with him, and he was just very, very friendly, very knowledgeable, and was fun, obviously. I mean, everyone was pretty much done with lunch at that point, but the fact that he was just like tromping on their plates full of food was hilarious.
I know, it's this beautiful image of this amazing tablescape that they like created for this event, and like flowers and plates. And
here he
is. Yes, it looked like a wedding reception, and here he is on top of a table, just with his napkins swinging and dancing. He was living his best life. So, yeah.
Yes. But anyway, quickly on to the news. We have Sea Dream Yacht Club is apparently looking to resume Caribbean sailings, just doing week-long ones round trip from Barbados starting in November. Now, of course, all of this is up in the air because things just keep moving and changing, and so we're crossing our fingers for that one. Disney's next scheduled sailing is November 20th from Galveston, and the line is planning to limit capacity to 70%. And they're going to, this is something that I know a lot of cruise lines do, but I haven't heard it referenced in terms of like COVID control, but limiting port arrival times. A couple of lines will have you sign up for an arrival time prior to boarding the ship, and you have to show up at your scheduled time. So I guess they're going to be really cracking down on that. Costa became the first Carnival Corp brand to resume sailing. That was on Sunday. They are also sailing at 70% capacity. And I believe MSC is now on its 4th sailing since resuming operations, and knock on wood, crossing all my fingers and toes, there are still no reports of anybody sick. So that's good news. And finally, Wonder of the Seas, which is one of the largest ships in the world, part of the Oasis class for Royal Caribbean, successfully had its float out at the shipyard in Saint Nazaire on Friday of last week. So more good news. Heather, what did you have? You're muted.
Of course. Does anyone else have anything?
Well, I think also to add to that, I know our friends up at Uncruise have started sailing as well.
I didn't know that. That's fantastic.
I saw a guy tweeting up a storm on Saturday about how excited he was to be on the ship or to be boarding the ship. So, to be honest, I haven't done my due diligence, but considering the fact that CNN is not having the entire cruise industry on blast again, I can only assume that it went well, because if it didn't go well, I'm sure we would be knowing about it, because that seems to be the way that the mainstream media is reacting to the cruise industry right now.
And I think we were all holding our breath. When that first ship left, kind of with MSC, I remember reading the headline on that, and it was just like the collective, and it was such good news to get good news from that first voyage. So I didn't know that they're already on their fourth sailing on that ship, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's 4th. It might be the 3rd. I've kind of my being stuck at home for so long, my days are really off, but it seems to be good news so far.
Good.
Okay, here's my big news. James and I are buying a cruise ship. No, I'm kidding. But I
was like, what?
My PayPal account has less than
Business has been
$1,000
good.
on it. It must be a really tiny cruise ship. So there's small ship cruising, and then there's Heather and James ship cruising.
You can actually buy your very own Carnival cruise ship if you would like to. The former Holiday is being sold, one of the original Carnival ships. So I guess a cruise ship sold last year for $600,000. So they're thinking this will sell for a couple million. So, I mean, you could do whatever with a cruise ship, right? You could create another Queen Mary type situation somewhere.
You could do whatever you want with a cruise ship if you have the money, I guess. I think the docking fees are crazy.
Yeah, it's in England right now, so you'd have to figure out a way to get it back. But
I'm sure if your credit limit was better than ours, you could probably there's at least 4 ships sitting in Turkey right now.
Yeah, but they're probably in various stages of being torn apart, I would guess, by this point.
This one they're actually selling in decent condition. So
wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I know there's an open port over here in Long Beach. I mean, I look out my window and I can see the smokestacks of the Queen Mary. So it would be nice to have a second ship, maybe that we could experience permanently docked. But
I love the Queen Mary.
And just like that, Lindsey leaked the news that we're going to hold to the second half of the show. that the as of yet unannounced. What's the ship? The super awesome unannounced ship from Virgin coming in 2022 to San Pedro?
Oh,
could you imagine if I were like, oh, and just a short little or like a small little announcement. I'm here to tell you where Ship 3 and Ship 4 is going.
And just like that, Lindsey lost his job.
Right, exactly.
We can only hope, though. I know that I talked to some people from another cruise line. Very much unannounced at a cocktail reception, and I know that many people are looking at the fact that we have almost 100 million people between California, Washington, Oregon, Arizona, northern Mexico that all would like to be cruising on the West Coast. So I know that it's just a matter of logistics and time, but a boy can dream.
I know, and because I'm, like I said, I'm based, here in California and cover just all West Coast states, and I don't go a day without someone saying, is Richard going to be launching a ship here on the West Coast? I think that's just because there's such good positive brand affinity for, Virgin America, Virgin Australia, whenever, we were flying kind of here in California, and people they want that brand present again. So believe me, I'm pleading to the powers that be that it would make my life as a sales manager here in California a lot easier if I could have a ship that I could kind of lean over my balcony, look out and see there in the port. But stay tuned. Fingers crossed. Fingers and toes crossed as well on that.
But in all seriousness, I think you guys are rolling out the strategic location. I'm really excited about the is it sailing out of Barcelona?
Our second ship, Valiant Lady. So she will be sailing out of Barcelona summer 2021. She'll be sailing on 3 different 7-night itineraries, and the one consistent port across all 3 of those itineraries is that she'll be overnighting in Ibiza as well. So
I think that's a phenomenal idea. That's really pretty much uniquely to you.
Yeah,
I can't see. I enjoy sailing on Royal Caribbean. I enjoy just being on a cruise ship. To be fair,
I just want to be on a ship.
I can't imagine Royal Caribbean or Holland America doing an overnight in Ibiza.
I just think the island just has anyone been to Ibiza before? Like
I have not.
It is.
I've written about it.
It's like the stuff of legend.
It really and truly is. Yeah, I actually had I was lucky enough to go there in 2016, and it's magical. Like, it really and truly is magical. We spent a full day at a beach club. Like, we did the whole VIP experience where I'm like, I know I'm paying way too much for a beach chair, but I don't care. And I know this cocktail costs $30, but I don't care. I'm paying for it because I'm here. And the ship, at least whenever we'll be letting our sailors off, we'll be there for a full 24 hours. So we pull into port at 6 p.m. and we are there Thursday at 6 p.m. and we are there until Friday at 6 p.m. So it's great because you can really have dinner on the ship, at 6, 7, 8 o'clock, have an amazing meal, and then get off the ship and then have the Ibiza nightlife that it's known for at your fingertips. So
this is a dumb question. Is it docked or is it tendered there?
It is docked. Yes.
Okay. So
it is supposed
to
to
go
dock
out and
there.
come back at like 3 o'clock in the morning after the lunch or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is what Ibiza is known for. So we're excited about it. So that's in 2021.
Awesome.
Yeah. I like to say we don't have our own beach club in Ibiza, but I think overnighting there is just as good, maybe if not better, than our beach club in the Bahamas.
Yep.
Awesome. Oh, am I muted? No, I'm not. Okay. No, that sounds awesome. I need to get on a cruise ship ASAP. I'm telling you, I'm missing it.
Yep.
One of the things if you've never sailed, for some people who have never sailed on a Caribbean cruise before, some of the days you actually will be at a private island or a beach club. You have that opportunity, and there's so many out there, so many different kinds from different cruise lines. Do you have a favorite, Ashley, that you've done?
So there are quite a few, and to be fair, I've only been to 3 of them. So I do have a favorite, but it could just possibly be because I haven't seen other ones. I'm a big fan of
Bimini yet.
Has anyone been to Bimini yet? And if they have, I'm jealous.
Yes.
My favorite of the 3 that I've done is Harvest Key, which is in Belize, and it's operated by Norwegian Cruise Line. I just like it because it's not the typical. So for anyone who hasn't been to a private island before, it's an island that's either owned or leased by a cruise line and done up to be a very contained environment. They kind of let you off the ship. It's very much like there are limited places to eat. There's usually a beach. There are usually some shore excursions. Sometimes there are places to shop. There are usually cabanas or something for rent. And within the last, I'd say 5 or 6 years, the cruise lines have really kind of upped the ante on these islands and have added all sorts of new things. And what I like about Harvest Key is they've tried to keep it sort of natural. So it doesn't seem, there are parts of it that seem commercialized, but a lot of it is very natural. They have I don't know if it's a nature preserve exactly, but you can walk through. They have a butterfly garden. They have snakes. They have toucans. It's just kind of really neat. And then they have a lighthouse you can walk up to. They have a zip line that you can do. There's a beach. There's a pool that's ridiculously huge. I don't know, how it compares to pools on the other islands. They've got restaurants. They've got a straw market that's run by locals. And it just, I don't know, it felt a little bit less commercial, I guess, than some of the other ones.
That sounds wonderful. And to your point, actually, it's really interesting that they do have a pool because a lot of the islands, it's just the beach. That is the main thing, and not many of them have the pools.
Yeah.
How about James? How about you? You're muted.
Well,
okay.
I was looking for there's a Instagram, or might it be even a snap of Richard at Bimini Beach Club. So I was trying to be a smartass and counter Ashley's comment that nobody's been to Bimini yet, because it's actually it's pure Richard. I mean, he walks in a completely empty beach. Bimini looks great in the renders, but it looks even better, just real. And he just plops down in the beach chair and he goes, "I'm like, I guess I'm a little bit early."
Yeah. And I think he actually has a floaty around him, right? Like a little unicorn floaty with him as well. So there's number 2 for the day.
Well done.
Well, as far as the evolution of the beach clubs, no, I think it's pretty impressive. I know, we were actually at I think the first mainstream cruise line beach club was Great Stirrup Cay, and we were there for. Actually, it was weird having that been there twice in 2 weeks on 2 different ships last November. But it was very clear that the evolution of beach clubs has done a lot in the past, I'm not sure, 20 years, 25 years. Because truthfully, while I was thankful to be there hosted by Norwegian, it was pretty archaic and pretty basically designed, but they are working really, really hard to update it and bring it up to the same level that places like Bimini Beach Club seem to be. I mean, obviously it's renderings for the most part right now, but you have Ocean Cay that looks absolutely phenomenal. And what Royal Caribbean did with the Perfect Day at Coco Cay, truly it's turning a corner from just simply cool, we've got sand and water and palm trees and some drinks, to water slides and bonfires and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited about the future. But I also, more than just amenities, I mean, I guess if I had kids, I'd be different. And certainly Royal Caribbean understands its market extraordinarily well. But I'm more excited about the fact that it's not just more features, it's more ability to simply relax and enjoy it. So things like being able to to see the night sky in a way that frankly most Americans won't ever be able to, even on a regular vacation. Because even if you're in Wyoming, you're probably in a tourist cabin with a bunch of stuff around you. But I think that the way you guys are at Virgin, the way MSC is doing it with Ocean Cay, they're protecting some of the ambient light so that you can get as close as you could possibly get to actually seeing what stars might have looked like 500 years ago. And I think that ultimately, when you look at vacations and look at tourism, you're not just buying the ability to go to a water park. I mean, shit, I can go up the street to SeaWorld to get a water park if I wanted to, or to Legoland. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But being able to see something, share a memory with your wife or your partner or your son or your daughter, I think that's ultimately what vacations are all about. And that is an experience that beach clubs are starting to be able to deliver in ways that they are superior to what you get going to Costa Maya. I mean, I enjoy Costa Maya. I enjoy going to Grand Bahama, or not Grand Bahama, it's Nassau. I mean, they're great places to go to, but you're never going to get that experience there.
Yeah, kind of plays into that whole like traveler versus tourist thing that's been going on lately with, cruise sometimes gets a bad rap because people will say, well, you're only in port for 5 or 6 hours at a time. You can't really get the flavor of a place in that amount of time. But I think some of these private islands have found a way to do it kind of nicely so that you're still getting some of the local flavor and it's not completely just, you're shoved there and left alone to your own devices for the day. There's definitely a lot more to do.
That is definitely true. But looking back at the old school islands, I have to say I have not been on Half Moon Cay or Key, however it is said, in 9 years. But that was the first private island I had been to. And I still think that sand was the best sand I've ever had in the Caribbean. It was just amazing. And they had horseback riding if you wanted to do that. I mean, we just wanted to chill on the beach. And honestly, I loved it because they brought us drinks. I mean, we still had to pay for the drinks, but they came out and brought us drinks. Some of the other islands, you have to go up to the bar to get the drinks. But it was nice that we were seated. Like if you're at the pool deck, they'll have someone come and ask you, would you like a drink? So it was just an extension of the cruise ship with that. So that was really nice. And they made fantastic Bahama Mamas, I will say. And that was a tender port. So you had to get on another ship, a little boat to get to the island. But another island it's not really an island. It's part of Haiti, but it's on the northeastern coast?
Yeah, roughly, I think. Yeah. The northern coast, at least.
Labadee, which is Royal Caribbean. And I have been fortunate enough that my in-laws are elite members for Royal Caribbean. So they get the private beach club there. That's only for Sweet Guest and Pinnacle members. So
thanks, Mom and Dad.
that experience is amazing. I mean, the food they put out is way above their regular food. I mean, what did they have? They had ribs, they had lamb, all this on their barbecue. Yes, totally amazing, great food. And the cabanas are nice, and the water area for that beach club is sandy and not rocky. People tell me the rest of the other beaches are very rocky to get in, so we've been lucky with that. And Labadee, the water is very strange. It's very, very salty there, very buoyant than other places. But I wanted to say that's another option. And another
that's Labadee from Barefoot Beach. You have the cabanas there, and you can see how close the ship is too, which is really nice.
And one other place that I really enjoyed, but it's not really a private island. It was a port specifically made for a good stop, but is Grand Turk. Grand Turk, have you guys been there? No. You get off the boat, and basically when if you swim in the water, the boat's right in front of you, which is kind of cool. But they have a huge swimming pool, kind of like probably what you're talking about, Ashley. And then they have cabanas all around it. And then they have a Margaritaville there. And if you want to leave that area, of course, you got to go through the gates and other things. And people walk around the outside. You can do that there and, walk into the town a little bit more. And they have good excursions. But all of it is, when I have that on my schedule, beach club or a beach day at one of the islands, I so look forward to it because it's a day of relaxation. And then I plan accordingly. My other days, I'm like, okay, I got to get in. I got to do what locals do in this town and that town and that town. So I look forward to my beach days to kind of chill and relax and just enjoy the water. And okay, was that? It's what?
That's Grand Turk, and I'm taking a picture right from the dock, so you can see how it's got a really nice long beach area right there, and right behind the buildings is the pool and the Margaritaville. But the water there is so clear, despite the fact that literally the ship is right behind me.
I mean, all these places are wonderful, and that brings us to the two newest private island / beach clubs are MSC's. What is that? MSC, we just did the Marine.
Ocean Key.
Ocean Key. And then we have Bimini Beach Club. And we'll let Lindsey talk more about that because, that's the thing I would think we're missing at regular islands or beach clubs is that you can't stay late at night. You're on the ship by like 6. So you don't get to enjoy night activities or relaxing. You're always on that time clock of everything. So yeah, tell us more. We're excited.
Yeah.
More about unicorns.
Yeah, for sure. I'll see how many times I can work that into my kind of explanation or story. But no, also I want to piggyback too off of what Ashley said. Like the one island that I've been able to experience was Great Stirrup Cay. Whenever we did a 3-night kind of a short cruise out of Miami, it was we left on Black Friday right after Thanksgiving. It was like one of those really good like kind of quick getaways. So we went there, and I had probably the best mojito at the Bacardi bar there on that island. I can still see the sign that you're supposed to stand under and get your picture taken, where it's Bacardi bar at Great Stirrup Cay. But yeah, shout out to them. They did a good job, and they've got some pretty good bartenders kind of slinging some mojitos on the island. So yeah, so that's the one cruise ship island that I've been to, and the one that is, I guess, hotly anticipated for a lot of people in the cruise industry, but even more specifically us as a team, is us to be able to experience the beach club at Bimini, which is Virgin's private beach club in the Bahamas. What's great about the beach club port, or really the stop, is that it is on every single itinerary of Scarlet Lady. So whether she is sailing on a 4-night itinerary, 5 nights, we've got a couple of 7-night itineraries in there as well, but she is the one consistent port of call that Scarlet will be calling on. I mean, the design of the beach club itself has really meant to, I guess, be inspired by the beach clubs of Ibiza or Saint-Tropez, which is not a bad inspiration to have. But she's just a short transfer from the pier, so not too far from where you'll be exiting. But I mean, the way the beach club is set up, it overlooks the ocean. We have this expansive lagoon style pool that really serves as the central anchor of the club. And James, I don't know if you have that photo. I think I did. I don't know if I sent it over or not, but it's like this really good aerial shot that overlooks the pool, and you can see like all the beach chairs.
Why don't I roll the sizzle video that you sent over?
Yeah.
And we can kind of narrate over that.
Oh yeah, true. And this video is live on our YouTube page. So if you would like kind of the opportunity to be able to play it and, you know, put it in full screen, it is on our YouTube channel. But yeah, so this is the entrance to the beach club at Bimini that you can see. Right when you come in, we have this really nice sitting area. That off to the right is a bar, which if you haven't noticed here at Virgin Voyages, and again, I'm sure Ashley can attest to this because she had just as good of an experience, that champagne and drinks are very much in the lifeblood of us here at Virgin. Yes. And there we have the expansive lagoon style pool, which I can already picture myself in those seats right there that you see on your screen, those kind of like bamboo style chairs that sit over the water. So we actually have 6 bars that will exist here at the beach club. So you will not go thirsty here. We have several different areas of the ship where, you know, kind of one of the big notions that we have here at Virgin Voyages is the opportunity to retox and detox. And so you'll have plenty of opportunities to detox, at least here at the beach club, because we have these areas of kind of quiet, harmonious tranquility where we'll have like yoga, meditation, and kind of more of the relaxation areas. This is the shot that I was looking for that has this kind of drone style view. But yeah, and I'm glad we kind of you can see it at night, because one of the features of Virgin calling on the beach club at Bimini is that we will be there for almost a full 12 to 14 hours, depending on the itinerary that you're on. On our 4-night Fire and Sunset Soiree itinerary, where we'll also be calling on Key West, on that one, we will be there for almost a full 14 hours. So we pull into port around 10 a.m. and we are not leaving until midnight, which you will get a full day's worth of activities. But I mean, in the morning, we'll have, like I said, yoga, meditation on the beach. And then as the day progresses, naturally, the energy picks up, where we'll have kind of some DJ-led pool flotilla parties. We'll have like unicorn floaties that you'll be able to hang out in there in the pool. That will be the center of the action. And then as the day kind of like winds down, we'll have those bonfire soirees, which you kind of saw in that video, those kind of like fiery orbs that sit there on the beach, where, you know, be closing it out with some kind of acoustic musical performances by our Happenings cast as well. So yeah, I mean, we've got a full slate of activities. And the other kind of really great aspect to the beach club, and it kind of almost mimics the experience on the ship, is that your food is included as well. So there is not a separate upcharge for, you know, eating there at the beach club. But we've got some locally inspired menus that we're going to be hoping to be able to showcase some island favorites. I always mess this word up, and this is like the most simplest word, but the conch conch shell. Is that right? Am I saying, or conch shell?
I think it's conch, but I'm not sure.
Conch. I always think of the train in Key West, the conch train. You
Like
know that
if you have too many drinks, you'll be conked out on the beach.
There you go. The conch and mango salad. We'll have like banana leaf wrapped queen snapper, Bahamian rum cake. So kind of like the local flavors that we'll actually be serving there at the beach club as well. So yeah, kind of pulling from kind of the local menu. So, but yeah, food's included.
And I know one thing that that is very different about Virgin. And initially, I was like, well, that's stupid. But then as I opened my ears and my mind, I realized that you guys actually had done your research. Is for those of you watching, most cruise lines have the drink packages, and many of them the drink packages extend to the private islands. But Virgin does not have a unlimited drinks package, which I think is it's a frustrating thing to alcoholics, but actually if it manifests the way that you guys were talking about it last year, in the fact that you're not necessarily going for $15 drinks, that you're going to go for a drink that, I mean, obviously I'm sure the martinis will be whatever, but you're going for regular bar price drinks so that people can drink what they feel comfortable with, as opposed to feeling like they have to overconsume.
Yep.
And so I think that's a really good thing to know for those who are expecting otherwise, but also for the people like myself. I mean, despite the fact that I have a drinking show at least once a week on a different channel, I generally don't drink a lot. And so the drink packages, sometimes when I have had those, you end up saying they're going, well, it's free, I'll just get another drink. But I think that the atmosphere, while I'm sure there'll be drunk people, I feel like you guys have deliberately tried to cater to an audience that isn't necessarily looking to get plowed.
And I think one of the things that we talk about kind of in our development of kind of the whole drink package experience on board is we listen to our sailors, and we listen to our agent friends, and kind of what works, and things that could be improved upon. And we just heard about drink packages of sometimes people feeling like, well, if one person in the cabin drinks and the other person doesn't, but feeling like I have to purchase it for both, or and I'm guilty of it. Like I've purchased the drink packages on board where I know I've spent this amount of money, and I'm like, I'm getting my money's worth, so let's have a good fun day at sea and enjoy myself. But we looked at that whole experience, and we wanted to create an environment where it wasn't going to be too much or over the top, but allow the Virgin brand to really come to life. So we decided to go not so much the drink packages, but what we will have are those reasonably priced drinks, where a beer is $5 to $7. Your Tito's and soda, which is my drink of choice, is $10. 42% of our wines that will be served on board this ship will be less than $10 a glass. So even though, and that's something you almost kind of have to like reframe and think about, because you're like, even though we don't have the kind of unlimited drinks, when you think about, maybe a 4-night cruise, maybe not every day I'm looking to have my, unlimited drinks or 12 to 15 cocktails on board. So there might be some days where I might like to have a rum runner or a unicorn floaty type drink by the pool, or for your, $12 a piece. There we go. But then, maybe a couple of glasses of wine at dinner. And then the next day you have you indulge yourself. But so and
I'm sure the people who do want that, let's go to the beach and get blitzed. I mean, I think you guys stop at Costa Maya, right?
We stop at, or at least in the Caribbean, we go to Key West, we go to Cozumel, Playa del Carmen, Costa Maya, Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic.
There's plenty of places that are the all-inclusive beach club experiences. That if you want that, go to the beach club and get plowed.
Yep,
you'll have that opportunity.
Yeah, and we did, when we rolled out and talking. Sorry, Heather, I'll just kind of end on this in terms of talking about the drinks. But we looked at, or at least when we talked about not having the drinks packages, we heard from our agent community of, when people think cruises, like they love their drink packages. So we actually developed kind of an alternative to that, which we call Bar Tab, where for every $300 that the client pre-purchases, Virgin Voyages will give them an additional $50 to spend for any purchased drink on board. So it's kind of like our alternative to the drink package. So essentially you've got almost $350 to spend across a 4 or 5 night voyage. You know, and when you've got reasonably priced drinks where your beers are like $5-6, I mean, if you really are smart about your money, you can make it stretch, but a couple of shake for champagnes that you do on board for $95 a bottle, that could really deplete those funds really quickly. So,
and that's per cabin or per I'm not sure what your sign and sail equivalent is. That's per account, right? That's not per person.
That's actually per sailor. So if you do have someone
it is okay.
Yeah, so if you have someone in the cabin that does drink, that they're like, well, I know I'm going to have some, you know, some beverages on board. You know, that one sailor can purchase the bar tab. The other sailor doesn't drink, which is okay because they'll be taken care of as well, because all of our basic beverages are also included in your voyage fare. So there's not an upcharge for, I mean, well, what's included, you're still in sparkling waters, soda, tea, lemonade, non-pressed juices, and your drip coffee are all included in your voyage fare. So,
but what as far as the account program, I can't remember what you just called that, but you know, for instance, let's say Heather is an alcoholic and wants to really just tie 3 or 4 on. Then she could get that program and bring the bar tab up to $300 or $400. But if she wanted to buy me a drink, she could still put that drink that she's purchasing for me on her tab.
That is correct.
Benefit. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that works out pretty well, because one of the challenges with the other ones is that if I had a Cheers package or whatever that, you know, different lines call their packages, I can't, or not supposed to anyhow, buy a drink for her off of my package. And so I think that you know, smart families or couples could benefit, even if it's beyond what you guys are intending.
Yeah, and we especially in the way of setting that up, like we really are inviting people, obviously being socially or physically distant, as we like to say. We still want people to be social, but at least maybe physically distant, where if you're having a conversation at a bar or, you know, one of our onboard bars, and you're like, oh, well, let me, you know, I'll buy you a beer. I've got bar tab. It's a really easy process to do. And one of the really cool features that we'll have on this ship, and you might have seen it, is the band, which is our wearable that sailors will receive about 45 days prior to voyage, but that will serve as almost your onboard wallet. So it's a really kind of contactless, paperless experience on board, where if, you know, Heather and I are sitting there having a couple of glasses of champagne at sip and I want to buy her another round, it's a nice little boop, and easy as that. So
is that kind of like how Ocean Medallion was supposed to work, that they would know generally where you are? And I know you had the shake for champagne.
Yeah.
Able to know, like saying like, hey, you know, Heather is on the pool deck in this corner.
Yep. Yeah. So that's something that, I mean, Scarlet Lady will be very smart tech ship, however the tech terms go. But yeah, the geolocation services on board will help locate her wherever she is to be able to deliver that ice chilled bottle of champagne.
One of the sorry, go ahead, Ashley.
Bimini is equipped with those geolocators as well, so people can.
I know that the wearable will be used at the beach club to be able to charge drinks. I don't know actually if the Shake for Champagne feature that has the geolocation services will be live on that, but I know for when you're there at the beach club to be able to charge your drinks, you'll still be able to use the wearable. Yeah.
What I was going to ask.
I mean, I know that the ancestor of the wearable was kind of the Disney magic bands, but are you guys doing? I'm assuming you guys are, because it's Virgin, but I assume you guys are doing some pretty stylish looking wearables. It's not just a plastic, you know, water park kind of band.
It's really, really slick. It's actually made from recycled plastic from the ocean, and I'm trying to figure out if I've got like a photo. Can I go into a share screen? Does that work? If I do that?
Yeah, it should work.
Okay, let me see if I can show you the band.
And if it doesn't, we'll find out.
Yeah, right?
So while you're looking, not that anyone would want to leave Bimini once they're there, but are there excursions available, or is it kind of just a, hey, let's relax?
Yeah, good question. Okay, I found it, and let me see if it'll work. The band, there we go. Okay, can you see the band?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it is nice.
Yeah, so it's made from this, it's made from recycled plastic, and I know Jill, our sustainability person, will probably be upset if I get this wrong, but I think it's like 6 pounds of plastic that gets like, kind of recycled and reused per band. And I watched someone hold me to that and kind of call me out on it. But I know it's very sustainable, again, trying to be a green company. So
I looked on your press site.
Yep.
And while there's no picture on your press site, or at least the Virgin.com site, it says Virgin Voyages worked with Bionic Yarn to continue its commitment to create epic sea change for all. The rope material for the band is built entirely from Bionic Yarn and contains 6 grams of marine and coastal plastic, equivalent to half a bottle of plastic bottle that washes ashore.
There you go. So James is the new sales manager for the West Coast.
and all it costs is a trip on it's Valiant Lady, right? Or it's Valiant Lady Europe?
Valiant Lady is Europe. Yeah, that's the Med.
Scarlet Lady. Okay.
Scarlet Lady is the Caribbean.
Speaking of Scarlet Lady and stuff, I know you guys took her back to Europe right now. With everything going on and some cruise lines getting back out there, like how MSC is doing, because you do have that beach club that is so important to your cruise line, are you guys thinking about, trying to start it up when things look better in the United States and maybe just doing kind of like a bubble just to the island and then that?
Well, it's funny you should just bring that up, just because right before this call, I was on another call with another agent who had the exact same question of like, have you guys thought about doing a closed loop of keeping everyone contained, at least on the ship and there at the beach club at Bimini? But I haven't heard of any developments where there is any sort of like closed loop itinerary type of conversation. I mean, right now, everything is still sticking to the 4 and 5 night itinerary, still going to Key West, Cozumel, Playa del Carmen, and all the other locations. I know that our sailor experience team, who is in charge of putting together all of our shore excursions, are really working through all of those different tours to make sure that they are kind of up to our health and safety standards in terms of the small groups, and just making people feel safe in general whenever they exit the ship and take part in one of our exclusive excursions.
I was going to say, I would feel safe, when things start to look a little better, especially in Florida, going on a cruise like that, where I know, okay, we're going to go to the beach club, if it's 1 day or 2 days instead of the other. I would probably be fine with that, just to get on a cruise ship for those who love to cruise.
Yeah.
I know everyone here probably would love that too. And while I know MSC is making people do their own excursion, they have to do MSC excursions or you're not allowed back on the ship. Is that what you guys are talking about too, or?
I mean, all I've been told is that we're meeting and working with all of our tour operators there in the ports of call. We haven't made any sort of like statement or kind of put out a policy that if you exit the ship and don't take part in one of our excursions that you won't be let on. But I know that there are a lot of different conversations that are happening with kind of what cruising looks like in a post-COVID world, especially at least here on our ship. But one of the things that I think we are really going to be talking about, and I think as we continue to kind of look towards our launch, is a lot of the things that we really had in mind when we created this company, 5-6 years ago and dreamt up, is something that's going to serve us well in the post-COVID world of the contactless experience of like the band, the app that you'll be able to use to enter into virtual queues, the ability to order food off of the app with the contactless room service. The fact that 86% of our rooms have a balcony or a sea terrace, so the ability to kind of walk out onto your balcony in the mornings and get some fresh air is a nice plus. And we're going to have the youngest, most modern fleet out there, so we're excited. I'm like, this ship just has to sail already. I'm like, I've been talking about it for like 2.5 years. Actually, I think I was probably hired 2 months prior to that event in Italy, and I remember thinking like that was the biggest like event to date that I knew that Virgin was putting on. And it was like, of course I wasn't able to be there, but thinking like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the ship to sail. And now it's been like 2+ years. So I know us as a team, like we were just as anxious for this ship to go live and be able to showcase it to the world. So yeah.
It's been a long time coming, and I think everyone's really like anxious to just try it because it is such a different product from what a lot of the other cruise lines offer, I think. I don't know. I'm very curious.
Yeah, and to answer your question too, sorry, I kind of jumped off topic into another one, but there at the Beach Club, you will have the opportunity to take part in some excursions that we've created there on the island of Bimini as well. And, I think that also goes back to one of the things that Branson firmly believes in is to support the community that you exist within. So you don't just like show up and you kind of, 2,700 passengers get off of the ship, but how can we really help the community that we work within? So we're really working hard with the locals there in Bimini to offer some pretty cool excursions. I think we've got your typical like hop on, hop off tour, great hammerhead safari. We've got a couple of shipwreck excursions. Oh, you can, as Heather mentioned before, almost at every island, you can rent a poolside cabana as well at our beach club. And yes, right. And the price point is like $350 for a cabana, but it also includes $100 worth of drinks there as well. So, which I think is like the best deal ever. So,
do they come with unicorn floaties though?
You know what? I don't know if they come with unicorn floaties. I'm gonna actually have to put in a request with their team on that.
You get the little coaster floaty unicorn floaties.
Yes, for your drink holder. Yeah. If you don't get it there at the cabana, I'll see if you can purchase that in the Scarlet Lady gift shop on board before you exit the ship. So
great. Okay.
Another question we kind of talked about it, but we didn't, is the fact that this cruise ship is the line in general, when you have the different ships come out, it's 18 and above, which is totally different. Yeah. And I know we talked about a little bit, but we didn't say no kids specifically. And that's, to me, and I would think to parents who don't have their kids and want to do a vacation, they're like, yes, I'm away from the kids.
Yeah. And that's, I usually start off like all of my my presentation. I'm sure, Heather, when I saw you within the first couple of minutes, I had this slide up that said adults only, no kids, 18 plus, to sail with us, which again, in the way Branson operates, in trying to find kind of the gap or that niche in the market that still needs to be filled. And we found this kind of, this area of adults only that wasn't really catered to or covered. So we, the way his mind works, and because you're Richard Branson, he thought now is as good a time as any to launch a new cruise line that's adults only. So to give all of the parents a reprieve from all of their at-home schooling, I'm sure they would enjoy a vacation on board.
Now, on that topic, I'm kind of curious of how it seemed like when you guys first launched, gosh, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, it looked like it was going to be very much a millennial focused product. But then, probably to your chagrin, I feel like a lot of the old people like Heather and I, and even people in their 60s or whatever that still want to have fun, have been very attracted to the product.
I'm not old.
I'm not saying you're old.
Right on the cusp of being
I'm saying I'm
Yes.
significantly older than a 27-year-old kid that just got their promotion to from entry level to middle management, that now has the money to drop on the cruise. I mean, it's not a cheap product. It's definitely not a Carnival product. But it's obviously also not, it's not seaborne either, thankfully. Where are you guys kind of netting out as far as the actual, age demographic of the customer?
Yeah. So we've had about a year and a half's worth of booking data. At the time, whenever COVID hit, we were almost just at about a year of being on sale to the world. And surprisingly enough, our demographic is that mid 30s to mid to late 50s, right at that 60 mark. Average age is around 48. And in between, within that demographic, like 60 to 80% are repeat sailors. So those that have sailed on many lines. People like yourself that you've been on cruise ships, you've been there, you've done that, and they're looking for something new and unique and different. And like Ashley said, having this product that is positioning itself as being different, it's piqued a lot of people's curiosity of, I want to experience this, and I want to try it out for myself to be able to to say that you sail with us. So that's kind of our demo that we're definitely targeting. So
I think it sounds great because as much as I would love to pretend that I'm 25 years old again, I quite honestly don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of 20-somethings, doing 20-something things at a beach club. But I would enjoy being surrounded by 30 to 50-year-olds
like-minded adults
who aren't just wanting to be, lazy schmucks and do nothing and drink beer, that, still want to have something that's a little bit different, a little bit more refined. So if
that's not everybody.
I have to say, when I first heard about Bimini, I don't know why, but my mind immediately went to the Fire Festival. And I don't know if it's because it was, this thing they were building on an island in the Bahamas, or if it's because it just had that same kind of like festival kind of vibe to me, like with the, I don't know, like you would just go there to like dance around a fire pit and like maybe listen to some good music. But obviously this will be much more successful than the Fire Festival.
Branson has some really good design contacts that he's been working with for years to develop.
I don't mean to imply that it's not legit. I just was like, I guess in the sense of it being very millennial and very like, I don't know, like Instagram worthy, I guess.
Yeah. And to your, and I keep going back to this Italy event, but I love that you were there and saw him do it, because I talk about it all the time. But we say that age is just a number here at Virgin, where we're looking to target those people that they just like to have a good time on vacation, let their hair down. And I say, you may not be Richard Branson dancing on top of a table, waving your napkin around, but you still like to be able to get up and cut a rug and have a nice drink by a pool and enjoy some good music as well. So that's the type of environment we're looking to create.
I have to throw in there too, at the same event, just before we had lunch, there were these two like really long, like banquet style tables set up, but they were, the centerpieces and the flowers and the even like the plates and the silverware and stuff. It felt like I was at someone's wedding. But off to like the head of both of the tables, there was a stage area, and he was giving a presentation about the eco-friendliness that you guys are striving for.
Yeah.
And I just remember he had these two, like the water cooler at your office, the big blue jugs of water. He had two or three of them that were empty. And he took a sledgehammer and started just beating the heck out of these empty water jugs. And everyone was like, they couldn't tell whether they were supposed to laugh or be like really scared of what was happening. But you're right when you say that it's just a fun kind of anything goes vibe, but within reason, I guess.
Right. Yeah. I always like to describe it too. Kind of going back to the environment on the ship, but this like approachable luxury, or almost like elevated luxury, where you don't feel like you're kind of the stuffiness of it all, but more of kind of a relaxed luxury on board. So I'll circle back with you once I actually get on board the ship and can report my own experience of it. But that's what we're looking to create.
I know we're coming to the end here, but if anybody's interested in going on, what am I saying? I can't talk. Going on a Virgin voyage, let me know. I can book it for you. Maybe we should do a group.
I was gonna say we should put a group together, and I'll have an escorted group. Yeah,
that would be so much fun. I'm seriously like dying to get on a cruise ship right now. We can see what is it, Celebrity Millennium out there.
Yep.
When we go out to Coronado, and I'm like, please come closer.
Yeah, I know there were a couple. There was I think a Regent ship here at the Long Beach port that was circling the other week. So it's like, I know we're so close yet so far away.
Now I know we're gonna do a talk, not sure when, on cruise ship food. Would you be willing to come back and talk a little bit about your food too?
I would love to. If you all will have me back, I have pictures out the wazoo of and real pictures. I know we shared a lot of renderings today with the beach club, but I've got real pictures of our restaurants. And I'd love to come and chat about food, and just make sure we do it after lunch and not before, so I'm not like hangry by the end of it. So
exactly. Do you have unicorn cupcakes?
We don't have unicorn cupcakes, but we do have, I think, actually it's called unicorn toast. It's some variation of like a unicorn type dish that's served in razzle dazzle. And I'm going to leave you with that and
Take that Dr. Seuss breakfast on
There
Carnival.
you go. Or fairy bread or something, but there's somehow unicorns are tied in. So I'll be sure to get some more concrete information on that next time I come back.
Awesome.
So by the way, you're mentioning the ship that you may be looking at from Long Beach.
Yeah.
Orion is sitting there just off the just outside the harbor.
Okay.
Is that Nat Geo?
Yeah. Usually there's some people and there's absolutely nothing in San Pedro.
Yeah, Regent, and I think I saw a Princess ship the other, or maybe not. I can't remember, but Regent for sure.
Yeah, well, I think they're all floating around doing something. It's weird. The last few months, there's been at least 3 or 4 ships sitting right off the coast between Long Beach and Catalina, and I don't see anything now right out there. So I don't know if that's. I'm going to assume it's a good sign that the cruise ships are repositioning so that they can hopefully bring crew back to the U.S.
I was going to say, shout out to all the onboard crew members that are out there keeping ships running and operating, and just extreme kudos to them, because I know this probably can't be the easiest of times to do that. So,
and by the way, in case anybody's nerdy like I am, here's what I'm looking at right here.
Oh yeah.
So you have La Spada. That's just a ferry ship. Blue is the passenger ships. That's the only one right here, the National Geographic Orion, that I see. I don't know where it came from. Stanley FK. I don't know what country FK is, but it's at anchor.
I think is that the Falkland Islands?
Maybe.
Might be the Falkland Islands.
Falkland Islands. So, anyhow, for those of you guys who wanted, I'm looking at marinetraffic.com. It also has a great app. Because one of the things that I also love doing is when you're sitting on the ship and someone goes like, "Oh, what's that ship over there?" And you kind of just covertly open up your phone and like, yeah, I think that's
be a total know-it-all.
I think that's the MSC Atlas that came in from Valencia, Spain, today on its way to whatever it is. People are like, what the hell are you doing?
You know what? There's a really cool, and I think Apple disabled it, but there was a really cool feature on the iPhone where you could say, "Hey Siri, what planes are above us right now?" Because it's always like wondering where the plane originates from and like where it's going. Because I do that with airplanes.
Yeah.
And so Siri had the capability, like, it could tell obviously where you were standing, and it would bring up like, the planes that were within your range, and some of them, looked to be legit because they were headed in that right direction. They looked like they had just taken off maybe at like 10,000 feet. So anyways.
That's super creepy. It seems like a national security thing.
I know. And that's probably why you can't do it anymore. And I may have just revealed some like trade secrets that they didn't want anyone to know about anymore. But
I have that on Flight Tracker.
Okay.
I would say it's probably more likely that Apple just didn't want to pay the license for the data stream.
True, I guess, yeah.
But it's pretty cool because it actually has a augmented reality thing where I can take my phone, I can like look up and track exactly the flight.
That's on, yeah.
Again, I'm a complete nerd. I even have like the air traffic control audio stream that I can listen to. So.
We need to get back on.
All right, guys.
Yes.
Yes.
He's gonna go nuts looking at all these maps of ships out there and what planes are flying.
Right.
I'm really confused because there's literally nothing in the in Southern California right now besides Millennium and there's a submarine. But
well, James, I think we need to wrap up.
Yeah, I gotta head out, guys. Lindsey, it was nice to virtually meet you.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, you too. Good to meet you. I'm glad you were able to be a part of one of our events, and yeah.
gonna go use my straw.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna go and invent the unicorn pool floaty cocktail.
Yes. What is that? Number 5 of the day? 5
I think
or
6 at
6?
least.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thanks so much. Have a good one.
Back soon. Okay.